Olive was in a dark cave and could hear dripping water.
Hello?
Called Olive, and her voice echoed into the darkness.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
What a funny echo.
I'm not an echo, I'm a bat. And I'm a bat too.
Olive looked to either side and could make out two little bats next to her.
We are the bats in hats.
Oh, do you mind me asking why you're called bats in hats when you're not wearing any hats?
Well, it's because we hang upside down and our hats keep falling off.
Upside down?
Olive suddenly realised that up was down and down was up. And she was in fact hanging from the top of a cave.
Oh dear, ostriches can't hang upside down.
Olive fell and landed with a plop in a big pile of hats. She stood up and straightened her feathers.
Oh, look at all these hats. One of them must be able to stay on.
No, they just keep falling off, Olive.
Well, let's give it a try, shall we?
Olive started picking up hats and popping them on the bats' heads, one after another. But they just kept falling off. She tried on woolly hats, top hats, cowboy hats, all types of hats. But they all fell off.
We told you, Olive. These hats just won't stay on.
Olive looked at the big pile of hats that they had just tried on and noticed that a thread of wool on one of the bobble hats was loose.
Bats that need hats, a loose thread. I think I may have an idea.
Olive pulled on the thread and got herself two nice long pieces. Then she took two of her favourite hats, held them on the bats' heads and used the thread to make little chin straps to hold them in place.
Perfect. Now you bats are in hats.
What? Oh dear. Now we're wearing hats. They're too heavy, Olive. We can't hold on with our feet.
The bats tried and tried to cling onto the ceiling, but the hats were indeed just too heavy, and they fell down into the pile of hats.
Are you both okay?
Asked Olive.
Yes, we're fine. But we will never be proper bats in hats.
Olive looked around the cave again and noticed some spiky rocks poking up from the ground and the hats with threads hanging from them.
Don't panic. I'm having another idea.
Olive picked up the two hats and tied either end to a tall, pointy rock, so the hats were hanging in the middle.
Now, if you fly up and cling to the ceiling, the hat should sit on your heads.
We'll give it a go.
So the bats flew up, clung to the ceiling and kept trying to stretch down to put their heads into the hats. But they were just too far away. Eventually they gave up, flopping down, exhausted, into the hats.
Oh dear, nothing I've tried seems to have worked.
Actually, Olive, these hats are really comfy. Yes, so warm.
The hats strung between the rocks were so comfortable and the little bats were so worn out from all the excitement, they started drifting off to sleep.
Looks like you bats are finally in hats.
Thanks, Olive. We're going to have a nice long nap now.
Sweet dreams. Maybe from now on you should be called the bats in hats that take naps.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Greg, actually, I helped some bats with their hats.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing in a park surrounded by small, leafy bushes.
Hello there.
Said a sad voice. Olive turned and saw a gorilla.
Oh, hello, I'm Olive.
She replied.
I'm Keith. Would you be my friend, please? No one likes me round here.
Yes, of course I will, Keith. You seem very nice to me.
Olive took a step forwards and accidentally trod on something.
Oh, what was that?
She'd stepped on a tiny yellow car. It was squashed flat.
Oops.
I'm always doing that.
Olive spied a tiny little man running up to the car.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? You just stepped on my cab, lady.
I'm very sorry. I didn't see it down there.
It was then Olive noticed that the leafy bushes were actually tiny trees in a park.
Tiny trees, cars, and people. Wait a second, I'm a giant ostrich.
And I'm a giant gorilla.
There were tall skyscrapers surrounding the park. Olive was nearly as tall as some of them herself. Then Olive heard shouting. She looked down and saw a crowd of tiny little people angrily shouting up at Olive and Keith and waving their fists. They started throwing things at Olive's legs.
Ouch! Ow! Careful!
They don't like us because we keep stepping on things.
Maybe we should go somewhere else, Keith.
Keith and Olive walked out of the park and down a wide avenue.
But Geg, it's really hard not to step on things. Sorry! Oh dear! Sorry!
I know, it's a nightmare. Sorry.
Tiny people were running around and yelling at Olive and Keith. Sirens were going off. It was chaos!
I just want to go somewhere quiet where I don't step on anything or bother anyone.
Olive spied an especially tall skyscraper with a pointy top.
A super tall skyscraper, lots of annoyed tiny people. I think I may have an idea. Keith, why don't we get out of everyone's way by climbing up that skyscraper?
Oh, that's the Empire State Building. Great idea.
So Olive and Keith climbed up the Empire State Building. Since they were both giants, it didn't take very long to reach the top. But there were still people shouting at them from nearby windows.
Oh, I wish they knew I was friendly.
Olive saw a helicopter swoop in and circle round them. But something was wrong with the helicopter. The rotor blade stopped turning and it started to fall.
Quick, Keith, catch it!
Keith held out his hand and caught the helicopter.
Got it.
A woman jumped out and stood on Keith's hand, followed by a man with a tiny TV camera.
Whoa, that was close. Katie Waters, NYC News, reporting live. And we've just been saved by the giant gorilla.
All the people looking out of the office windows cheered.
Thanks for saving us. What are your names?
I'm Keith Kong.
I'm Olive. Pleased to meet you.
Can I just say I love New York? Sorry for squashing things before.
Well, you two are certainly a couple of huge New York City heroes.
As a thank you, Keith was given his own special area in the park, as long as he promised to, try and stop squashing things.
Thanks for your help, Olive. Would you like to stay for a bit and I'll show you some more of New York City?
Maybe next time. But today I certainly had a huge amount of fun with you, Keith.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
But Geg, actually, I had a big adventure in New York City.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing on a flat green lawn next to a flag. She was wearing a diamond-patterned jumper and was holding a thin metal club.
Oh, this is awful. How can I play golf in these conditions?
Said a man in a bright pink jumper. He was holding a club, just like Olive's.
Hello, I'm Olive. Is everything okay?
She asked.
I'm Rory, and no, things are jolly well not okay. How can I play a quiet round of golf on my favourite golf course with all these pesky rabbits digging up the place?
Olive looked down and noticed that there were lots of rabbits jumping around, digging holes and burrowing all over the golf course. It was chaos!
But Geg, oh, I see. Yes, that is a bit of a problem.
Too right, Olive. A golf course is only meant to have 18 holes. Now, thanks to these rabbits, this one has at least 418. Oi, you! Clear off!
Olive decided to speak to one of the rabbits.
Excuse me, why are you rabbits digging up this golf course? You're spoiling things for all the golfers.
Well, it's because the farmer next door is spoiling things for us rabbits. He harvested his field of carrots, so now we have nothing to eat. We're digging up this golf course looking for food. Well, you rabbits are making a huge mess.
Complained Rory.
Maybe there's some way to sort all this out. I'm going to speak to the farmer.
Olive went next door to the farm. There she found the farmer standing in a field next to his tractor and plough. He did not look happy.
Oh, what is wrong with this tractor?
Hello, I'm Olive. Can I help?
Oh, hello there. My tractor's broken down, so I can't use it to plough this field and plant new crops. What am I going to do?
Well, what was growing in the field before?
Asked Olive.
Rows and rows of carrots,
replied the farmer.
I harvested them yesterday, and they're all safely stored in my barn, ready for market.
An unploughed field, a messed up golf course. I think I may have an idea. Can I use some of your carrots, please, Mr. Farmer?
I suppose so, but why?
Trust me, you'll see.
Olive went back to the golf course and spoke to the rabbits.
Please could you rabbits leave the golf course and line up along one side of the farmer's field?
She asked the rabbits politely.
But we're having lots of fun here. Why should we leave?
Trust me, you'll see.
The rabbits were intrigued and followed Olive. She poked a line of carrots deep into the soil along one side of the field and got the rabbits to line up along the other side.
OK, rabbits, come and get these carrots!
As soon as the rabbits smelt the carrots, they started burrowing across the field towards them.
Oh, that's brilliant, Olive. The rabbits are ploughing my field.
When the rabbits reached the carrots, they gobbled them down.
Yum, thanks, Olive. But we still need somewhere to live.
Tell you what, you lot can live in my pasture over there if you agree to help me plough my other fields.
Do we get more carrots?
Of course you do.
Just then, Rory popped his head over the hedge.
That's if you help me fill in those extra holes you dug in the golf course. Oh, OK, will do.
Looks like everyone's happy.
Thanks for getting those rabbits off our golf course, Olive. Would you like to play a few holes with me? You never know, you might hit a birdie.
Heck, I certainly hope not.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Heck, actually, I've been helping some rabbits fill their tummies.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive found herself on a lush green mountainside. She could see a little puppy running around in circles. He seemed to be looking for something.
Oh dear, where have they gone? Oh, sorry. Have you seen any sheep?
Asked the puppy as he carried on rushing about.
Sorry, I haven't. I'm Olive, by the way.
Oh, hello. I'm Freddy, and I'm head sheepdog on our farm today.
Boasted the little puppy.
My dad, old Fred, has hurt his paw, and it's my job to round up the sheep, but I can't find them. That's the trouble with sheep. One wanders off and they all follow.
Freddy looked really worried.
So where do the sheep normally like to go when they wander off?
Asked Olive. Freddy thought hard.
Oh, got it. Up on the mountainside.
Olive looked up at the steep slopes.
Oh, the mountainside looks like it's a really big place.
Oh, yes, it certainly is. It'll take ages to search for the sheep, especially on foot, on paw.
But as Olive looked around, she spotted the farmer's quad bike. It was bright red and had big, chunky wheels.
We could search for the sheep on that. Have you ridden one before?
Freddy looked worried again.
Oh, yes, but I don't think we're allowed. It belongs to the farmer.
But on it, we could find the sheep really quickly. And of course, we'll be very careful.
Well, I suppose, since we are in a hurry.
Soon, Olive and Freddy were bumping up the mountainside on the quad bike. But still, there were no sheep in sight.
Stop!
Cried Olive suddenly. Freddy stopped. Olive clambered off the quad bike and picked up something white and fluffy from the ground.
Oh, that's sheep's wool.
And look, there's more. And more. We just need to follow these clumps of wool to find the sheep.
Oh, what a great idea.
So, following the trail of wool dotted up the mountainside, they soon found the sheep.
Home time, sheep. Come by.
The sheep didn't move.
Follow me, please. Bah! Oh, you are naughty sheep. Come on.
But still, the sheep didn't move.
Sheep who won't come home, clumps of wool. I think I may have an idea. Freddy, we could disguise ourselves as sheep by sticking these clumps of wool all over us using some mud.
Oh, well, it's worth a try, I suppose.
Soon, Freddy and Olive had covered themselves with wool and looked just like sheep.
Follow me, please. Bah! Bah!
Bah! This way, please. Bah!
The sheep happily followed Freddy and Olive down the mountainside with lots of happy baaing.
It's working, Olive. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Bah!
That's all the sheep in the pen, Freddy.
Oh, thanks, Olive. We did it. But, this wool is a bit itchy.
said Freddie as he and Olive shook themselves hard to get off all the wool. Just then, Freddie's dad came out of the farmhouse.
Oh, my lovely boy, I see all the sheep are in the pen.
Smiled a very proud old Fred.
You are a very good sheepdog, Freddie. Well done.
Not to mention a very good sheep.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay, actually, I helped round up some sheep with a little sheepdog.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing beside some tall, spindly plants.
What are these plants?
Olive asked.
They're bamboo. You're in a bamboo glade.
Answered a voice.
Talking bamboo plants? How odd.
A little black and white panda stepped out from amongst the bamboo.
Hello, I'm Ming Ming.
Hello, I'm Olive.
Oh, look at your lovely blue feathers. I'm just boring black and white.
You probably wish you were as colourful as me, of course.
Boasted a beautiful golden pheasant as it strutted by.
I'm Nianzu, the most colourful golden pheasant in all of China.
Hello, Nianzu.
Oh, I would love to be as colorful as you.
Then ask the wise man. Of course. Maybe he could tell you how to become almost as colourful as me.
Yeah.
Where do we find the wise man, Nianzu?
You can find him by the ancient and magnificent Great Wall of China, of course.
Oh, that sounds like it might be a long way away.
Actually, no, it's just over there.
Nianzu pointed behind them, and there, reaching up high, was the Great Wall of China.
Wow! How did we miss that?
An old man with a long beard was sitting by the wall next to some colourful washing. He was fast asleep and snoring.
And is that the wise man, Nianzu?
Yes, of course.
How do we wake him up?
We could try that gong.
The wise man woke up with a start.
What? Oh, dear.
Excuse me, wise man, but how can I become more colorful? It would make me so happy.
The wise man stroked his long beard and said, wisely,
True happiness is being happy with yourself.
and then he dropped off back to sleep.
How does that help?
Olive spotted a colourful robe on the old man's washing line.
A panda who wants to be colourful? A colourful robe? I think I may have an idea.
What is it now?
Excuse me, wise man. May we borrow your colourful robe, please?
Those who ask often receive.
Is that a yes?
It is. Now leave me alone, please.
Olive took the robe and put it on Ming Ming, and she became the most colourful panda in China.
Oh, now I am as colorful as Nianzu.
Almost.
I'll show those tourists how colorful I am.
Ming Ming paraded up and down the Great Wall of China.
Look at me. Hello.
These tourists just aren't interested in Ming Ming.
Suddenly there was a huge gust of wind and it blew off Ming Ming's robe. Ming Ming was back to her usual black and white self.
Oh, no, I'm boring black and white again.
Look, a panda.
Exclaimed a tourist. They all started taking photographs.
So perfectly black and white.
Over here. That's it.
The tourists took more and more photographs of Ming Ming.
Olive, they love me. Oh, hello.
Hello, what about me? I'm beautiful.
The wise man was right. True happiness is being happy with yourself.
He certainly was. Being black and white is amazing.
And you do look lovely, Ming Ming. Smile.
And I look lovely too, don't I, Olive?
Nianzu, you and Ming Ming are both picture perfect. Of course.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Actually, I helped a little panda at the Great Wall of China.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was in a large white room, sitting at a desk. There was a strange machine in front of her. It had lots of metal keys and a sheet of paper poking out of the top. All around her were monkeys sitting in front of similar machines and tapping away at the keys.
Oh, what's going on here?
Said Olive rather loudly.
Shh, why aren't you typing?
Whispered the monkey next to Olive.
Sorry, I'm Olive. What's typing?
I'm Cornelius. Typing is what we're doing on these typewriters.
I don't really know what to type.
It doesn't matter. Just make sure you're typing when he gets...
Monkey with the feathers, why aren't you typing?
Olive saw a rhinoceros striding towards her.
But what do you want me to type, Doctor?
The name's Dr. Horner, and I don't really give a monkeys what you type. Just get typing.
Cake, okay.
A flustered Olive quickly began to type. Dr. Horner walked out through a door, locking it behind him.
Why are you all locked up in here?
Dr. Horner says we're taking part in an important literature research project, so it's vital we all keep typing. I'm typing a story about a wizard monkey. Carlton here is writing a book about monkeys in space, and Lucius over there writes monkey poetry. We all want to escape and get our stories published. I'd love to see my book in a bookshop, but as long as we're trapped in here, it's hopeless.
Sighed Carlton sadly. Olive looked up. High above her was an open window in the ceiling.
A high-up window, lots of typewriters. I think I may have an idea.
Olive collected up all the typewriters and began to stack them on top of each other until a tower of typewriters rose up to the window.
Okay, now all we need to do is climb this tower and we can escape.
The tower creaked and wobbled.
I don't know. It doesn't look very safe to me, Olive.
Well, it's the only way out. We'll just have to be extra careful. I'll go first.
Olive cautiously began to climb the teetering tower of typewriters, and all the monkeys followed. But as she reached the top, the tower started to really wobble.
Perhaps this wasn't such a good idea after all.
No, maybe we should all climb down before it falls.
Suddenly, the door swung open, and Dr. Horner strode back in, his face red with anger.
What's this? An escape attempt?
Just then, the tower of typewriters finally toppled.
Cake! Quick, everyone! Join on!
Olive grabbed the window frame with one wing and Cornelius's hand with the other. All the monkeys joined together just in time as the typewriters crashed to the ground. Olive jumped out of the window and started to pull up the monkeys, but Dr. Horner grabbed hold of Carlton's tail.
Ha-ha! There's no escape!
Tickle him, Carlton!
Shouted Olive. Carlton gave Dr. Horner a good tickling. And he let go of Carlton's tail. Olive quickly pulled them up and they all escaped. The monkeys were so pleased to be free at last, they all leapt around and chattered with joy.
Thanks so much for helping us escape, Olive. We're off to the big city to get our stories published. I plan to be the next J.K. Simeon.
Good luck. And make sure you all keep writing. No time for monkeying around.
They all laughed. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Cake? Actually, I've been helping some typing monkeys escape.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.